Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most iconic beasts and beings from Greek myths.
It's okay. Cool pet.
Number 20, Phoenix. Symbolism of death and rebirth is found throughout a number of world mythologies, from Scandinavia and Egypt to the Middle East. The phoenix exemplifies this cyclical metamorphosis in Greek mythology, a fiery bird that emerges from the ashes of another phoenix that came before. Descriptions of phoenixes differ depending upon the source, with some deviating from how we typically view the bird. Bright and vibrant colors are sometimes replaced with blues or violets, but what remains is the same, a new phoenix being born again as its predecessor passes away.
Folks.
Number 19, Nemean Lion.
This was no ordinary beast.
There's a lot of adventure to be found within the labors of Hercules. These include many fantastic beasts and creatures, most of which need to be killed or captured by the Greek hero during his service to King Eurystheus of Mycenae. Capturing the famously huge Erymanthian boar was one of these labors, but the first task given to Hercules by Eurystheus was killing the Nemean Lion. This beast boasted golden fur that was impenetrable to projectile weapons such as arrows. Hercules instead was forced to utilize cunning, trapping the Nemean Lion in a cave and strangling the creature with his bare hands.
But even this monster was no match for the son of Zeus.
Number 18, the empusa. There's generally some wiggle room when it comes to mythological creatures and their appearances, and that's especially true for this strange being. The empusa is an underworld servant of Hecate that's known to shapeshift from a woman to a monster.
Hecate is the goddess of magic, mistress of witches and sorceresses. She is the daughter of the Titan Perseus, god of destruction.
The empusa is occasionally depicted as only having one leg, while still other stories claim it possesses one normal appendage and another leg crafted from copper. Either way, stories that surround the empusa typically lend it characteristics similar to a succubus. These devilish dames seduce hapless young men with their beauty, only to feed upon their blood when it's time to strike. Number 17, Typhon. Greek mythology has served as a wellspring of inspiration for countless artists over the years. This is thanks not only to the stories of the gods and titans, but examples from the Greek bestiary such as Typhon.
With Tartarus itself as the father, Gaia gives birth to the monstrous Typhon, a kaiju-sized eldritch abomination with loads of heads, flaming eyes, and just a whole bunch of snakes.
This gigantic serpent beast was actually the father of many famous mythological monsters, spawned from his loins and the womb of his mate, Echidna. These include Cerberus and the Lernaean hydra. Typhon himself is a mass of multiple heads, hands, and snakes.
He's the largest of all Gaia's giant children. He's got hundreds of limbs all made out of screaming serpents and dragons. He's got wings, he spits fire. He's the ultimate, most monstrous monster of all monster kind.
His temperament is terrible and unpredictable, a chaotic monster with a reputation for might that threatens the very safety of Olympus itself. Number 16, Erinyes.
Your methods fail us, Megara. I will take care of him.
AKA the Furies. Oath-breaking was known as a serious offense within the world of Norse mythology, but the ancient Greeks also held true the power of a promise. This is where the Furies, also called Erinyes, come into the picture. These creatures lived beneath the earth and punished those who swore an oath and went back upon their word. Texts claim that these fearful goddesses were born from the blood of Uranus after he was slaughtered by his son Kronos. Their mythological mother figure is Nyx, goddess of the night, and the Furies actually play a part in parenthood during their downtime. That's because families with misbehaving children were said to have sought the Erinyes for advice or guidance.
Megara, Tiss, you ready?
Murderer.
3 against 1. Doesn't seem all that sporting now, does it?
Or each will pass the need for any sport. We'll kill you, whatever it takes. Erinyes, now.
Number 15, Lamia. Zeus was a notoriously unfaithful husband to his queen Hera. The ruler of Mount Olympus frequently had affairs with, well, anything that moved, basically, and this included a Libyan queen by the name of Lamia.
だって寒くて体温上がらないからダーリンに温めてもらおうと思って。ラミア族は変温動物だ。
The children of this union were cruelly abducted and destroyed by Hera, and Lamia was cursed with both insomnia and madness. This, combined with her bloodlust and habitual abduction of children, changed her appearance to that of a hideous monster. Lamia was given the gift of second sight by Zeus in the wake of her punishment, but this mattered little to the despondent mother, who was doomed to howl with rage at the loss of her family.
今日はちょっときつこれ以上のライバル出現なんて許しません。許せません。
Number 14. Scylla and Charybdis.
Scylla. Athena, protect us.
One can't really discuss the monster Scylla without also mentioning its counterpart, the sea beast known as Charybdis. The former was once a water nymph that was cursed to sprout vicious dogs from her torso as punishment for an affair with Poseidon, although other readings pair her up with a different sea god, Glaucus.
Beats the pressure trying to make art while all our fans are watching, begging, Scylla, where's your next soul?
Meanwhile, Charybdis is a daughter of Poseidon, effectively teaming up with Scylla to attack unwary sailors. Both monsters appear in such famous mythology works as the Odyssey by Homer, as well as Ovid's Metamorphoses. The phrase, between Scylla and Charybdis, meanwhile, has come to serve as a sort of fancy way of saying between a rock and a hard place. Number 13. Griffin. The next monster is not solely the property of Greek myths, having been adopted by many other cultures over the last 3,000 years. The griffin is one of the most magnificent animals that's entered into legend at this point, a mixture of lion and eagle with razor-sharp front talons. Strength, glory, and security are just a few of the characteristics symbolized by the griffin, with many historical coats of arms bearing the image of the creature. They're also often depicted as guardians of some ancient and valuable treasure, warding off intruders with their power and might.
Isn't he beautiful? Say hello to Buckbeak.
Number 12. Harpies. Viewers of a certain age might remember watching the stop-motion animation of Ray Harryhausen, specifically his work on mythological adaptations like Jason and the Argonauts. It was in this film that Harryhausen brought to life the harpies, winged women creatures from Greek myth that personified wicked and foul winds. If you're annoyed by seagulls stealing your food at the beach, then imagine a harpy scratching at your face with devilishly sharp claws. These creatures possess little in the way of mercy or goodness, and instead are almost always described as violent vultures with an evil temperament. Number 11. Sirens. Sailors, take heed. Do not listen to the song of the sirens, lest ye dash yourselves upon the rocks of watery death.
Nobody but me. Oh, sweet little.
These lovely enchantresses are usually depicted with features of both fish and birds while also retaining human countenances. Their singing is said to lull seafarers into a stupor. They then lure the ships toward dangerous waters and eventually to wreck. The legacy of the sirens has endured into the modern day as well, with many literary and cinematic portrayals of their sinister beauty and the formidable peril of an encounter.
Is that the best you can do?
Number 10. The Sphinx. Although most closely associated with the culture of ancient Egypt, this mythical creature was quickly adopted by the Greeks during the Bronze Age. Usually depicted with a human face, lion's body, and the wings of an eagle, the Sphinx serves as a gatekeeper. Upon crossing the Sphinx's path, it challenges the traveler with the riddle, which creature walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 3 in the evening? Should the traveler not reply with the answer, mankind, he or she will immediately be swooped upon and devoured by the vicious Sphinx. It's a tough life in ancient Greece, huh? Number 9. Satyrs. From the classic Federico Fellini film Satyricon to the Norwegian black metal band, references to satyrs are a dime a dozen. But in Greek myth, these creatures are classic troublemakers and revelers.
What's the matter? You never seen a satyr before?
No.
These man-beasts are companions of the god of wine Dionysus, therefore having a penchant for drinking, and were usually depicted in human form but with horse tails and ears. The most famous of their kind was Silenus, a close cohort of Dionysus, and a character associated with fertility. Sometimes the figures would crop up in Greek plays with their very own genre, the satyr play, which took a usually dramatic story well known to the public and, you guessed it, made it satirical.
It's not about the money, it's about the message, right?
Wait a minute, whoa, you don't actually believe this crap, do you?
Number 8. Chimera. It seems metal bands really like Greek mythological beasts. The Chimera is yet another hybrid creature, usually the body and head of a lion, with a second goat head and a snake's tail making up the rest.
A monster with the head of a lion and the tail of a serpent.
The earliest mention of the beast was in Homer's Iliad, which is where the physical description originated. The Chimera is also known to possess a terrible temper, as well as the ability to breathe deadly fire from her jaws at any who might oppose her bestial might. In other words, you might not want to get this one angry. Number 7. Medusa. One of the most well-known creatures on our list, Medusa is the mightiest of a race called the Gorgons, who are snake-headed sorceresses with the power to turn men to stone with a single gaze. Many attempted to defeat her, hoping to gain the amassed gold and treasure in her lair. Myth tells of the hero Perseus finally beating her, which was later adapted for the screen in the Clash of the Titans films. Medusa has been portrayed in our time by such actresses as Uma Thurman.
They say the eyes are windows to the soul. I hope you find my eye
and appears in the video game worlds of the God of War and Castlevania franchises.
Welcome! I haven't had any visitors in a while.
Which just goes to show her enduring legacy as an icon of evil. Number 6. Cerberus. This triple-headed guard dog is one of the fiercest and most frightening creatures from the world of Greek mythology, and with good reason. Cerberus is the gatekeeper of Hades, a hound of hell who prevents all lost souls from escaping the underworld. As if the 3 snarling maws weren't frightening enough, Cerberus has sometimes been described as having snakes emerging from his body, as well as a serpent for a tail, making this beast a dangerous foe from all angles. The only person to have ever tamed him was the hero Heracles, or the Roman Hercules. Number 5. Centaur. These hybrid creatures are instantly recognizable. The legendary race has the lower half of a horse and a human upper body, and proves to be popular in the world of fantasy time and time again. Indeed, the image of centaurs has been adopted for ads like Adult Swim and
Please, do your part to help keep my people alive. A horse.
Old Spice. And if you've ever wished to see what a centaur version of Saturday Night Live's Chris Parnell would look like, look no further.
Are we going to discuss my medical qualifications?
The rest of the interview will be centaur questions.
Their usage in popular media isn't new, though. It dates back decades, as evidenced by their appearance in such films as Fantasia and The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. Number 4. Minotaur. This next hybrid creature has the head of a bull and quite the reputation. According to myth, the Minotaur was held in a labyrinth in the kingdom of Crete. Crete's king, Minos, pissed off the gods, and as a result, his wife was bewitched to fall for and lay with a bull, producing this enraged creature. The Minotaur would devour 14 Athenians each year until Theseus succeeded in killing him with the help of Minos's daughter, Ariadne. The intimidating image of the Minotaur carries on even now, in video games like God of War and Vagrant Story, as well as in such films as Wrath of the Titans and Percy Jackson and the Olympians' The Lightning Thief. He's that terrifying. Number 3. Cyclops.
You mighty Hercules!
This round-eyed race of giants was known for excellent building and crafting skills and their overall nasty nature. The most infamous Cyclops is undoubtedly Polyphemus, who appeared in Homer's classic poem The Odyssey as a significant obstacle for the stranded hero Odysseus. In this story, Polyphemus is the son of Poseidon, god of the sea, and a sea nymph known as Thusa. He holds the hero Odysseus and his crew hostage, devouring any man who attempts to escape. It isn't until Polyphemus falls asleep that Odysseus and his crew are able to blind the Cyclops and finally make their way away from their island prison. Though to impale a god's son proved not to be the best choice, as Poseidon kept Odysseus from getting home for a while. Number 2. Pegasus. This stark white and regal steed was actually birthed from the blood of the slain Medusa after her defeat at the hands of Perseus. Pegasus, a winged horse, would later be instrumental in the hero Bellerophon's defeat of the Chimera. He's made many appearances in pop culture, being seen in films like Fantasia, and his image has been used across several media. From a logo in World War II by UK parachute troops to the old opening montage of TriStar Pictures. Today, Pegasus is famous in the God of War franchise as an ally of Kratos. Regardless of his origins, Pegasus's use as an emblem demonstrates his legacy of beauty and wisdom.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Hydra. Cut off a limb, and 2 more shall take its place. The name Hydra may be more familiar in recent times, since it was adopted as the name for a terrorist organization in Marvel's universe.
They cut off one head. 2 more shall take its place.
Hydra, also called the Lernaean Hydra after its den of choice, was a multi-headed water serpent that protected what was said to be a gateway to the underworld. As if that weren't bad enough, it was virtually impossible to decapitate this snake. In fact, after severing one head, 2 more would take its place. Couple that with the Hydra's poisonous blood and venomous breath, and you essentially have a beast with almost limitless destructive potential. Until Heracles came along. Hail Hydra!
Hail Hydra.
Which mythical creature would you love to see in real life? Let us know in the comments.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.